I have a brief disclaimer for you. I am not a mechanic. I'm not even a backyard mechanic. Someone probably called me mechanically declined. But this is just a video of what I did with my tractor and the results that I obtained by making the changes. So take it for what it's worth. My BX had that backwards creeping, and I can't say for myself that I ever felt it was a safety issue for me. But from what I'm hearing lately from Paul Short's site, a lot of people complaining about it, and theirs is much worse than mine. Some people have it, some people don't. It seems like a very individual thing. For me, this was more of an annoyance than a safety issue. I've always felt that this issue had to do with adjustments on the tractor. I never felt there was some kind of fatal flaw, but it is frustrating, and I understand other people's frustration in trying to deal with this and trying to remedy it. I do believe there will be an answer for the people who have this issue, and I think it's a matter of trying to follow the procedures in the workshop manual. These are the tools I needed to adjust the HST tensioning spring for the HST pedal, and also for the to change the position of the dampener for the HST pedal. I used a 1/4-inch drive with a 3-inch extension, and it's a 12mm deep socket. And the wrench is a 12mm open wrench. The workshop manual has a reference, and it refers to the distance between where the plate between the two nuts and to the end of the rod. There's a measurement that is there. That refers only to how it was when it left the factory. If you adjust the tensioning spring, that's going to change. You can't keep it at that spec. That's just a starting point from where it left the factory. If somebody had disassembled this and wanted to put it back together again, they would know what that measurement would have been. Instead, it's a factory. But that measurement changes when you adjust the HST. The second thing in the manual, it says you have to remove the step, which is the whole top platform of the, where your feet are. And that's not necessary. I mean, that's my interpretation of what they meant by the step. But that's not necessary. You do it all from underneath the tractor. I'm back by the right rear tire, and the tensioning spring is right up against the transmission, and that's it right there. Here's the HST filter right next to it. Here's a view looking from the front of the tractor to the back of the tractor, and you can see that nut on top. That nut on top is the locking nut, and the one on the bottom is the one you see from underneath the tractor. It's a tight space in there, but I found I could get the top wrench, the open end wrench, on that top nut by just bringing the pedal down. It gave me more room, otherwise the HST fan is hitting it. What I did was I loosened the bottom nut with the socket so that I'd be able to advance the top nut with my fingers upward, advancing it on the rod. With the nuts loose, I was able to take the top nut and just move it up with my finger and change the position of it. I kept adjusting it, trying it out, and adjusting it and trying it out until I started to feel a change in how it was acting. And from that point on, I knew it was starting to kick in, but I kept advancing it, and I wasn't seeing any more improvement. So it was at that point I knew that this is not the only thing that is affecting the tractor from stopping. I decided to start looking into the dampening piston and how it's positioned on here. Here's an adjustment on there, and I had tried this before separately without adjusting the pedal, and it didn't seem to correct the problem at the time, so I put it back where it was. That seemed like the logical thing to do. That's what I had done in my other video 9 months ago. So I came here, I started advancing this upwards, loosen these up. You can see how that changes. That you can actually feel a difference on the dampening piston. So I adjusted that to a point where I was comfortable. The manual says that adjusting that will change the feel of the pedal. It doesn't, it's kind of ambiguous. It doesn't quite say that it's going to affect the braking. It just says the pedal will feel different. So I know when I had tried that 9 months ago, I didn't like the way it felt. It was too abrupt of a change from what I was used to. The nuts on that are 12 millimeter. I used the box end of the wrench to loosen those and to tighten those up. So I made the adjustment and I tried it out, and I saw a big improvement in stopping. Still have a tiny bit of creak. I think that is part, that may go away with a third part of adjusting the HST pedal. I just am not prepared to do that third part safely. So I'm gonna probably, I may do that another time, but I'm not prepared to do it at this time. It's my opinion that the symptoms varied so much from tractor to tractor that the solution is going to vary from tractor to tractor. Some may need more HST, tightening. Some may need 1 turn, some may need 5 turns, but some may need 10 turns. And same goes for the dampening piston. So it might be a variety of those two things that give you a happy medium, but just realize we know that there's no one fix for this, and it's a combination of things. I hope you found the video helpful.